So Opulence Global, 21 years of opulence, 8 years of fountain of life.
To be here, continuing to make Richmond Hill home, and frankly, continuing to put Richmond Hill on the map all across the world.
So welcome everyone to this call tonight, and tonight in Canada, I'm sorry, daytime in Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, Singapore, and Asia. Okay, so I'm your host. My name is Jaz, and it's a privilege to be here tonight to host my wonderful uplines and powerful people behind Opulence Global. And of course, our CEO with a heart of gold is with us in this call tonight. And let me introduce our first speaker, Mr. David Raphael. He is the head of Opulence Global Expansion. So let me just give you a short bio of David. He brings over 30 years of hands-on experience in international sales, marketing, and business development. Throughout his distinguished career, he has held CEO, general management, and senior executive positions in Australia, in New Zealand, the USA, and Asia, specifically Singapore and the Philippines. David's recognized for his ability to build thriving organizations from the ground up and for his proven track record in leadership roles. Amazing. Having lived and worked extensively in Asia, David has developed a deep appreciation for the diverse cultures and business practice that are essential for accelerating business growth. His international experience has shaped his approach to global expansion and enabled him to navigate the complexities of various markets. So David has held numerous senior executive roles, such as president of the Direct Selling Association in New Zealand, and as a board member for nearly 30 years. He was also a board member of the Direct Selling Association of Australia for 3 years and has contributed as a member of the World Federation of Direct Selling Association on the Associate Service Committee for Asia Pacific for 5 years. Now, David, located in Sydney, Australia, is pleased to join the Opulence Global corporate team. He joined Opulence Global in December 2025. And we're very happy to have you, David. And during this pivotal period of transition, as collaborative efforts unfold, we are committed to establishing a global direction and cultivating a lasting legacy for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. David Raphael.
Well, thank you, Jaz, for that very, very overwhelming and warm introduction, as always. And look, you do an amazing job. I've been on so many of your calls, and you epitomize the true meaning of professionalism. So thank you for that. Look, and welcome everyone to the call. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're all these different time zones we're trying to work through and work around. But look, it's interesting. Yesterday in this part of the world was May 1, the 1st of May. It's May 1 in the Northern Hemisphere. And I woke up yesterday morning thinking it's a dawning of a new month, but it's also a dawning of a new era here at Opulence. And you know what? I'm so excited about the potential for where we take this company now into this Asia Pacific market, based here in Sydney, Australia. But look, we're going to hear from some very, very top-notch, star-studded speakers. I'm going to speak for a short while. Then I'll hand the call back to Jaz to introduce some very, very amazing speakers that I've had the honor and privilege of working with. I haven't met any of these guys face to face, but I feel as though I've known them for a long, long time based on my interaction with them. So you hear from them, you'll hear their stories. Great brands aren't just about products. They're living, breathing stories which create movements and generate a lot of business and revenues. So I want to thank everyone for being on the call here. And I want to give you a bit of a background. Jaz mentioned that my involvement with DSAs, my biggest honor was that I get to work with the World Federation. So try and imagine, I used to know all about Australia, about New Zealand, about the United States, but getting to look at the whole big picture of World Federation to see what's happening on the planet with this amazing industry called direct selling, to me, that was an eye-opener. So for the folks on the call from Australia and New Zealand, you guys know that we got 28 million people here in Australia and about 5.5 million people in New Zealand. Okay, but what people need to understand is that in the area of multiculturalism, we are unparalleled anywhere in the world. Unparalleled. Okay, we've got something like 17%, 17% of the total population in Australia, Asian Aussies, and in New Zealand, you've got 17% that are Kiwi Aussies. Now, these guys are hardworking, they're all entrepreneurial, and they bring so much culture to our country, to our countries. And we sometimes feel that we're isolated from the rest of the world. When it's day here, it's night there, and vice versa. But because of where we're situated, we are sitting on the doorstep. In our backyard, we've got 2/3 of the population of the planet. 5 billion people out of 8.3 billion people are right here in our doorstep. And a plane trip, depending on where you're flying from, between 5 and 8 and 9 hours. And I'm sharing this because if you've got people on the call from Thailand and Singapore and Malaysia and Indonesia, you can build the market here from those countries. And the people here, guess what? Their home is Australia, but their heart is in the Philippines or Taiwan or Thailand. So the opportunity to grow the business here from offshore is absolutely amazing. Amazing potential for that. There's 450,000 Filipinos in Australia, 450,000. And you know what? They're amazing people. I love them. I go to their events. I love the food. They're hardworking as they are in the Philippines. But that's just an overview of where things are at. And give you some more data on where we're at with Asia Pacific. 40% of the $170 billion in revenues from direct selling around the world comes from where? Asia Pacific. 57% of the 110 million people in direct selling are in Asia Pacific. Then you got other stats such as 40% of the health and wellness products come from Asia Pacific, and 39% come from Asia Pacific alone against the 170 billion. That's more than the America and Europe combined. And you've got countries like Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, Indonesia that are doing 50% or more in health and wellness products. So these are little key takeaways to let people know that the market we're in right now, there's amazing potential for us to grow that market from offshore. One of the key takeaways that I've always gotten direct selling over the years is the importance of clarity. Companies that clearly communicate their vision, their values, and expectations are far more likely to retain and build long-term loyalty. So transparency and trust are critical to the industry. As Jaz mentioned, my role, I came on board early January, and my role is pretty much based in Sydney, is to mirror the unique facilities that you're seeing in Canada. Okay, and what we're going to be doing every 2 weeks or bi-weekly or fortnightly, as we say here, we'll have this call. And this call isn't just open to Aussies and Kiwis, it's open for everyone globally. Over and above these calls, we have the Launchpad, the Crossfire, the Testimony. I've been on these calls. And guys, these calls are amazing. So you're going to hear from the speakers today that are all over the place. They're here to support you because they see the potential and the value in the market over here. We're going to have local meetings. We're going to look at local distribution. And that's going to be a game changer when the time comes. Having a local conference could be in the Gold Coast, in Sydney, and Nelson in New Zealand, or even offshore in places like Fiji and Bali. Look, I'm here to support you guys, okay? And I'm also available. If you've got someone out there that wants to know more about the corporate vision for Asia Pacific, have a three-way. Let me know, and I'm happy to get on the call and speak to people and give them my vision of the market here. And what is my vision? Opulence has got everything. High quality products, services, effective leadership. The four pillars of effective leadership are what? Vision, communication, integrity, and accountability. And we've got that all. Okay, the company's financially sound, totally debt-free. And Ramin has said this many, many times. In his 21 years, he's hit stumbling blocks. Every company does that. It's not always clear sailing. But you have to evolve. You've got to change. You've got to adjust. You've got to pivot. And he's done all that. And that's the reason we're here today. Because there's an old saying, insanity. If you're doing the same things, expecting different results. So you've got to evolve, got to change. And one of the things that I admire so much, and it's probably from my own heart, because my philosophy in business, if any company, if their role is simply, if their focus is just about making money, they're morally bankrupt. You've got to put people before profits. I've said this before. If you put people before profits, you make money. It's a win-win situation. So, I did my due diligence on Opulence. Ramin and myself were speaking for the most of 2025. He got to know about me, I got to know about him, his company, and my background. And my opinion, Opulence, its most spectacular growth is directly in front of us. Okay, we're just entering another stage of momentum. I guess fact number two, it's built for long-term, longevity. 21 years, stood the test of time, debt-free, financially rock solid, and operating on a built-to-last mentality. Okay, and we're 21 years, and that looks like being another 21 years and more. And finally, growth, profitability, and longevity. They're three things that most direct sellings don't have. They get the start, the spurts, they get growth, a little bit of momentum, then they dive down. Sustaining that, maintaining that is probably the hardest thing. So we got the best of both worlds. Rock solid company, 21 years, and all set to project to become $1 billion company. Ramin, I stole a leaf out of your book from our last call where you spoke about building momentum. And you spoke about three factors. One, building momentum. We have the existing people. Guys, we're in pole position. Opulence has been here in the market for 10, maybe 12 years. So there are people here that once upon a time purchased the product, they know about the company, they know about the business plan, but they've been quiet for a while, for whatever reason. It's our job to resurrect them. That is your little hot potato in your hand. Go back and get those people excited. We got pole position. They know about the company. Sustain that momentum. Grow your business one call to the next, one person to the next. That's sustaining it or maintaining it. And finally, you advance the momentum. And by doing that, you have your weekly calls, your daily calls, keep in touch with these people. Okay, I don't know. I've just looked at the database and there were so many, many hundreds of people there that are part of Opulence but have gone quiet for a while. It's our job to reignite them, re-energize them. We got promotions happening right now. Get them back. Let them know what they've missed. But more importantly, let them know where the future of this company is going. They have a presence here in Australia and New Zealand. I did mention at the outset that I'd speak for a short while because we've got some amazing speakers coming in after me. I'll come back to you with some closing remarks, but I'll turn the call back to you, Jaz, to introduce our first speaker. Thank you, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, David. And so we are going to introduce our first speaker for tonight, our LD for Rene Liaw. Rene's entrepreneurial journey started in 2007 when he joined Opulence Global as a side hustle. I remember he said he went to meet our CEO from 7 p.m., but he did not leave the office until 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Wow. With exceptional determination, he swiftly doubled his annual income of $80,000 within just 16 months, leading him to leave his IT job at a major Canadian telecommunications company. What followed was truly extraordinary as Rene achieved a remarkable monthly income of $100,000 with a mere 7,000 individuals in his organization. Today, his team has grown to over 28,000 individuals across 130 countries since. As one of Opulence's top earners, Renee enjoys a substantial five-figure weekly income and proudly drives a Tesla T90D provided by the Opulence Car Club. Renee recently invested in a magnificent custom-built $5 million home. With his profound dedication and exceptional leadership, Renee is the founding member, shareholder, and valued advisory board member of Opulence Global CEO. He has been twice honored with the prestigious President Cup Award. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Rene Liaw, our LD4. Go ahead, Rene.
A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm actually just here at my friend's wedding. And so just going to go into the car here. And no, that's the beauty of this business. Yeah, because it's giving me such a financial freedom over the last, again, 19 years of being in this company. And my Bluetooth might just kick. Can you still hear me okay, Jaz?
Yep,
Yes.
fine.
Yes. So thank you so much. Again, great to be here. Again, thank you, David, for always inspiring us with such incredible stats, because sometimes we don't realize the market that we're sitting on and how big that actually is, right? So I get so excited hearing all those amazing stats and figures you're sharing with us, because, again, to your point, there's such a huge market really all over the world. And it's just been an incredible, again, 19 years for me here. Even just tonight, I was talking with some friends about, when I was younger, my parents had really pushed me to get a good education. And so I went to U of T, the University of Toronto, downtown campus, and I was in computer science, software engineering, graduated, and of course, get a good education. Then the next step is to get a really good job. And so I worked for IBM for a few years. And after that, I went to go work for TELUS, which is actually one of Canada's largest telecom companies. And, as a senior programmer at 27, again, about over 20 years ago, I was earning an annual salary of about $80,000. And it might sound good, given that it's over 20 years ago. But then again, after paying taxes and whatnot, you're not really left with a lot. And I recall every day driving through traffic, going to my job, sitting in a cubicle, and just programming from morning, till evening. And sometimes you have releases, you're working overnight, you're working, through the weekends, you're on call. And I just didn't like my job. In fact, I actually hated my job. And, it was so bad to the point where I actually recalled I used to have to park. I didn't have enough money I was making to park and pay for the parking at my day job. I had to park at the mall called Scarborough Town Center, and walk to TELUS. And I recall every time I was walking on the sidewalk, I would purposely go and walk on the grass and imagining that I was golfing. So I was really just going crazy there. And I think sometimes when you put out there to the universe that you want something more, something better for yourself, that sometimes, opportunity does knock. And I really believe that in life, you're given one or two really incredible opportunities that if you don't catch it at the right time, it can mean a whole difference in your life. It can mean either you're working for the next 60 years trying to survive, or you take advantage of this opportunity, you work your butt off, and your life changes beyond anything that you can imagine. You leave, generational wealth for your family, and that's what I saw here. That's what I saw here. So I immediately got started, and it's a very long story, 19 years now in this company, but it's just so inspiring now that I've seen what this business can do for me. Financial freedom. You own your own time. I was there when my kids were born. I did all the bottle changing, all the diaper feeds, the bond that I have with my children, to having them in the best private schools, owning multiple real estate across the world. And, just recently, we're about to close on our $5 million property that's now selling for over $6.2 million. And, it's just the experiences that I have now is just unreal. And there's a quote that I always recall from Jim Rohn, and he says that life is a collection of experiences. And some people, and I love this quote, some people, okay, can live multiple lifetimes because they experience so many more things than the average person does. And I know for a fact now that having a job, you'll only experience maybe what an average person can experience in one lifetime. But when you have a business like ours that pays you so much residual income, so much great bonuses, that you start to experience things. Just recently we were on one of our friends, it's like Toronto's only, luxury super yacht. And it's a 100-foot yacht, luxury yacht, things like that, traveling, business class with your family, eating the best foods in the world, shopping for what you want to buy. There's so much more in life than what a job will ever provide for you. And, beyond that, it's the fact that I absolutely love what I do. Another great quote is that, you never have to work a day in your life if you truly love what you do. And doing it here makes you financial freedom. It's just so unbelievable. And one of the things that I can see already happening, in our company just recently, it's, just through one person. So again, I met Dr. Henry by cold calling him at his clinic about Fountain of Life and our other products. From him now, he's like an LD4 as well. 6 years later, he's hit the six-figure, yearly income, easily high-figure monthly income, weekly incomes now. And through him, he brought in someone that is, still sort of, you'll see all of this very soon in our next Night of the Stars. But through one person, he brought in the number one top earner in another company. And from that one person, they brought in somebody else who's the number one top earner that used to sell chocolate. They made over $500,000 to $1 million per year just selling chocolates. And that business went down, not because of the bad chocolates, but because of the ownership. And so, when we talk about us launching our brand new, delicious, healthy chocolate infused with Fountain of Life, that's what brought them to the table, this one particular person. From that, again, so just imagine the opportunity that is knocking on your door. If you're on this call, knock, knock, knock. We are knocking. This opportunity, of course, is knocking on your door. And from that, it led to another top earner of another company that was selling health products, to another top earner, another company who sold Goji, to another top earner. And now, we have had such an explosion of growth. And that's a kind of potential that could happen in your business, And so for all of you on this call today, as we're launching the ANZ, the Australia and New Zealand market, is to hopefully appreciate and to be able to see clearly this opportunity that you all have knocking on your door. There's people who got started less than 5 years ago who have absolutely, completely changed their lives. People who were literally during COVID at the brink of going bankrupt and fear of closing their stores, who are now flourishing and making incredible, high-figure weekly incomes, 5-figure weekly incomes. And so I just envision in the future that Australia and New Zealand, we're going to create a lot of millionaires within those markets. But again, most people on this call might not even be in those markets. And because we pay to infinity, that you're going to have millionaires being created even outside of the market. And the beautiful thing about our industry, about our company in particular, is that we want everyone to succeed. Why is that? Because there's no sort of a caps. There's no breakage. So, the bigger your team is around the globe and the more people, and this is really the key selling point for me here, is that in our industry, we can only have success by helping all of you have your successes. If all of you can have amazing success, guess what happens? Everyone wins together. And so I always I actually notice that sometimes when I go to get together with some of my friends who aren't living the kind of lifestyle that I have, they always brag about the people around them that make the most money. And of course, oftentimes I do end up in those conversations. But here is the main difference in those conversations is that people who like to brag about, oh, I know this person that has a big house, that person that has a fancy car and a Lamborghini, all this other things here. The question is, would those people ever help you to create your millions? And the answer is no, right? They don't want to teach you what they did, because if they did, you would be their competition. And so here, when you rub shoulders with, again, a lot of wealthy people don't even want to meet average people. They don't want to rub shoulders and meet and greet and have coffees and chit chat with you. But here, all of the top earners on this call in our company would love to get to know you, know your story, know your goals, and more than anything, help you to achieve those goals, because it's a win-win situation. And so I'm just so excited for this call today. These calls are growing leaps and bounds. The first call had a few people, then it doubled, now it tripled, now it quadrupled. And so again, every single time we have these calls, teams, invite everyone that you know, because again, my life is just nothing as what it would have been staying in this 905, so 9 to 5 job, job, just over broke job. And again, you will truly love what you do, because when I travel and I land in different markets, I had one girl who went all the way from Laos, traveled actually on bus over 12 hours to see me in Thailand. And she drove all that way because she had lost her left breast from breast cancer. And unfortunately, early in 2024, end of the year, she found out that the cancer had spread and she had lumps on her right breast. And she was due for surgery to cut off her other breast. And just by taking one bottle of Fountain of Life, and I will just say a disclaimer, that Fountain of Life is not a cure for any disease or ailment, but simply nature's most powerful plant antioxidant. But taking this product, she is now cancer-free. And just using one bottle over about less than 2 months of time, and she drove all the way to come and see me just to thank me for supporting and being in Thailand, being in Laos. And that's exactly why I'm heading back to those markets in June, from Thailand, Bangkok to Pattaya, back to Bangkok, then to Laos, Rompabang, back to Thailand, then to Philippines, Pampanga, Davao, Manila, then back to, of course, Singapore with our amazing LD3 Amarjeet, who's on the call as well too. You're going to hear from her a bit later on. But that's why we love what we do, because people are always so grateful, and that even if no one ever gave you one single gratitude of thanks in this company, which never happens because they always do, but that you're changing lives across the globe. And we want to change as many lives of the Aussies and the New Zealand people. And again, we welcome you. We want to, bring you into the circle to help those people, and of course, to help you change your life as well too. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much, of course, to our incredible leaders, for being on the call today. You're going to hear from some incredible stories and leaders here, and of course, to our CEO, who, again, does not have to be here. Team, it is about 9:40 p.m., and our CEO, who has spent his life with this company, he's so down to earth. He's here for us. He's here on the call, and he's brought on another incredible asset to our company, Mr. David Raphael, who, again, was a president of the DSA. He's helped companies build to the billion-dollar company, and we're just so blessed to have him, of course, supporting the Australia and New Zealand market. So, David, thank you so much for being here. Of course, and I turn the call back to our amazing host, but so pumped to be here, guys. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Back to you guys. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Rene. Thanks for being on the
Thank
call.
you. Thank you very much, Rene. And we'll just have a change of schedule here a little bit. I'll tweak it. Our next speaker will be our LD3 Ronen Triffon. Ronen was actually born in Melbourne, Australia. He's an Aussie. He moved to Israel as a young child with his family and raised there till he returned to Australia at the age of 20 years. Wow, Ronen, this is very exciting. After 30 years in the world of information technology, working for companies like Microsoft, um, eventually managing Southeast Asia for a configuration management company, Ronen discovered there is no better industry than direct sales and network marketing. I remember what he told me, Jaz, you're not a networker yet. I have to train you. Thank you. He's a sought after public speaker, and I believe that coach and mentored thousands over many years around the globe. He has over 32 years in the direct sales industry and is on the advisory board with CEO in top leadership of Opulence Global company as he has been with the company 8 years. Ronen is a pioneer and founder of Australia, New Zealand, and the Israeli markets. In fact, Ronen has had two life changing experiences in opening new countries for networking companies. Ronen has multiple top leadership awards, free LD2 cruise, and free exotic vacations. What makes Ronen really unique is his philosophy and long term focus about direct sales, and what really creates duplication and retention. Most of all, he is a good friend of mine and believes in impacting and empowering others to make a better world for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our LD3 Ronen Triffon, who is now based in Thailand. Welcome.
Yeah.
Ronen.
Hello, thank you very much, Jazz. What a great introduction. You're such an amazing host, and I love following your weekly educational shows. You and Dr. Henry Ziong doing an amazing job for a very long time. So thank you from everyone around the world. David, this is very, very exciting. And it's funny how the universe has a funny sense of humor. You see, when I arrived, as Jez just said, at the age of 22 to Australia, my first sales job ever was actually within Encyclopedia Britannica. And when we were very young kids in our 20s, young 20s, David and I worked in Britannica. We know the same people, Ellen and Hugh Bauer. And of course, I was in the Victoria area. And David, I think you were in the Sydney area, right?
Yep.
And it just shows you how crazy the world is. I basically continued from Britannica into my corporate path. Dave went into his corporate path and ended up being such an important figure from the corporate side in so many different companies, the Direct Sales Association. You saw how he evolved from there. For me, Britannica was actually the doorway to our beloved industry. I went and sold a young family, a set. Was about a $5,000 sale, and they started showing me circles on the board, and that's how I've joined Amway, the American way. I've been there for about 5.5 years. I've always made much more money in Britannica, and eventually I went to timeshare and I sold radio advertising for Gold 104. And so I've done a lot of things while I was studying for the world of IT, because I understood computers are coming. If you can't beat them, join them. And network marketing was always a hobby for me. I've earned enough income. We did very well actually in those days. And the thing that really got me the most was the community. The idea that I went to my first event and saw 92,000 people in the MCG, and a helicopter comes and drops down. Dexter Yeager came with a helicopter, and so it was a very fascinating world for a 22, but never from a financial need, always from a joyful environment. And it became a hobby in my life. All the way till 2008, it was a hobby. And every company, I went after 5.5 years to a company called Purotech, still use their products till today. Amazing product. The company has not existed for 20 years. I don't know how long. And from there, I found myself in another company. After 4.5 years, I went to a company called Agile. And within Agile, it was the first time that I've actually worked with very strong networkers. I've worked for almost 4.5 years there with Randy Gage, Randy Schrader, and Eric Worre. And that was the first time I understood how important it is to actually study and learn this industry and not take it just as a hobby, thinking you have to sell a few products, talk to some people, a few people come in. No, this industry is actually, it is a university that you never stop learning. Any other job I've ever done, pretty much after a few years, I got it down pat and I knew my job. Here, you never stop learning. The second you think you know enough and you can fly is where you're going to be penalized and you're going to find out, no, I need to, in order to grow, I need to learn more. I need to adapt more. I need to temper my ego, because most of us, when we start in this industry, we come, it's my way or the highway. We come without any understanding of a merging between a company and ourselves. And that is a big issue in the industry. One thing that our great CEO has actually managed to do is teach the majority of us the difference between the wrong cultures in so many other companies to the right culture of, you guys are not here to be gods. You're not here to be celebs over many people. No, you're the same as everybody else. The more people you have, yeah, you're going to get ranks and you're going to get some recognition. But in reality, we are all equal and we're all working for one body, which is the company that allows all of us to sustain a great life. The more we learn, the more we invest, the more the company grows, the more we grow. It's a symbiotic relationship. And that took me almost 15 years, if not more, to learn. Why? Because in all the other companies, I was taught the wrong thing by the people that have taught me, and those were always the people from the network. This is the first company that the real teacher out of everyone else is actually the owner and the CEO. That doesn't happen in any other company I've ever seen. The thing for me that really made the biggest change, and this is why I'm sharing this with you, because I want you to understand this industry is so much more than just a business. It is a lifestyle, and it's usually the thing that will save you when everything else goes wrong. So you see, I went to IT and I satisfied my parents and I satisfied my wife that I've married after 8 hours and been married for 18 years, and I've satisfied everyone. I had the houses and the lands and the pools, and I had it all. By 2007, I pretty much had it all. Agile was the first professional company, because I think I was making already 50,000, 70,000 a month there. As a hobby, as a side income to all my salaries that at that stage were about $250,000 a year. So you're really comfortable. And then 2008 came, and I won't tell you the whole story. It ended up that I wake up on my 40th birthday with a phone call that tells me not only I've lost everything, but I'm starting my day with $800,000 minus 2 kids and a wife. At that point, I truly realized with the next company that came into my life, it was Monavi. I realized that what I really did for the last almost 15 years, 17 years was accumulating a new skill that, if I take it seriously, will actually be able to take me out of one of the most difficult environments to get out of, because even if you earn money in a salary or anything like that, they'll take it away when you owe $800,000. So you're really always chasing your tail. This industry has literally saved me in a way that, I mean, it allowed me to save myself through the industry. And when I thought that things are going well, and that was about 2012, and in 2012, I still did not, it's only 4 years after, yes, so I still had almost $300,000 in debt. That means I've covered about half a mil. And then I woke up one morning with a new back office of a competing company, and nobody knew, but the company has sold themselves overnight to another company. Needless to say that this is a very uncomfortable feeling. And since then, I have received so many different requests from different people and companies to go and check them and join them. And one of those people have brought me to the company called GWT. And I remember the day that I flew from Melbourne to Toronto. Not only I was shocked that the CEO and the owner of the company would spend that much time with me, but from the second I've landed, the people, including LD4 Rene Liaw and Sherry Zhao that is not with us here on the call, the way they took care of me, they haven't left me for a second. And this is important towards the end of my story here, because I want you all to remember this. It's not about they didn't show me a presentation. Yeah, we've done a little bit of that, but it was they took care of me. They were always with me. And that really made a big difference towards my decision, because as soon as I finished my visit to Canada, I was flown to Arizona to go and see the owners of that company, Secret Direct, and they even had a cash offer and a big deal. And I remember myself making the choice of GWT over this skincare company. And the choice was divided to two parts. 60% was the care that I've received from Rene Liaw, Sherry Zhao, right? And 40% was this so different CEO and owner. And I've met other CEO and owners, they're usually Mormons, Americans. This was something very different. This was something that I had no logic. I didn't understand anything about fashion. We had only fashion in those days. I didn't even know how I'm going to start, but something told me this needs to be my place. This is 12 years ago. I could never have imagined how incredible the place I have arrived to was. It takes time to really understand the difference between this company to any other company out there. But I will tell all of you guys this. This is not a reignite of the Australian market. This is a true launch of the Australian market, because the Australian market, we launched it in the past in 2016 as GWT, as a fashion house. Now we are really launching, once we get our act together and be large enough to do a proper launch like we've done in Perth, we will be launching Opulence, which is the next evolution by far. And as I like to adopt from our CEO, this is our third decade. We are the Apple of the MLM industry. And I believe that in the next decade, the changes will be so big that there's going to be maybe 5, maybe 10 MLM companies left on the planet. They will be massive, serving massive numbers. And I believe that it will be Opulence, one of those 5 or 10 people. So, David, I'm very excited about this new start. I hear in the grapevine that great things are happening. Many new leaders are coming. Everything is starting to move and shake towards the tsunami. I'm already seeing the wave line far, but I'm seeing it. And this is the time for all of us to put everyone we know's boats into the water. Never mind who, what, once the tsunami will come, it will affect all the boats that are in the water. I'm very, very excited about that. And thank you for being here. It's fascinating to work together again.
Well said, my friend. Well said.
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Ronen. Thank you. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate, I know the situation, but thank you for your time. It's very valuable. But let me tell you one thing. When I was looking at the bio of our CEO, I said, this is a lot, and we always say this, but for the sake of of the people that are here for the first time joining our call, all I wanted to say is, tell me a company that you rub shoulders with the CEO. He eats with us, he shakes hands, he hugs you, he talks to us. Wherever you see him, hello, Jazz, hello, like he's like a family. He really treats us like family. Where? Tell me a company, and nobody raised their hands. No, I haven't experienced that in any of the companies I've been. I said, congratulations, you are here, you are home. And this is why people would say our CEO with a heart of gold. And Ramin is really very down to earth, believe me. The first time I met him, I felt comfortable. And I joined this company because of the health and wellness products. I did not look into the business side, but when I saw what I missed on the table, after 2 years, I got serious. But anyway, I have great people. My uplines are here and they're great in supporting me. So it's really wonderful. It's a privilege to be here. So let me introduce, thank you, Ronen. Have a great day. Let me introduce our next speaker. Her name is Ifrah Hassan. She's also an LD4. And Ifrah is a proud Somali Canadian activist turned entrepreneur. Prior to joining Opulence Global, and this was actually in the COVID time, Ifrah spent 10 years mentoring youth, women, and girls in her community while working a full-time job at her government job, right? It was during this crucial period that Ifrah realized that if she wanted to make a tangible change in her community, she needed to create wealth, of course. And that vehicle became Opulence Global. Fast forward about 2 years, Ifra more than doubled her income, which led to quitting her permanent 9 to 5 government job in the middle of a global pandemic. So I'm pretty sure everyone in her team would say, "Are you crazy? It's pandemic, everything is so difficult, and you're quitting your job. How come?" Since then, she has benefited from full financial freedom, earning up to $10,000 in weekly commissions. Wow. She has traveled the world building her business and inspires thousands around the globe and supports a team of over 2,000 partners in 30 countries. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome LD4 Ifrah Hassan.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, my sister Jazz. That was a very, very kind introduction. Hello, everyone, or should I say good day, everyone?
Right. Well said.
So I am not going to take too much time. I know the night is getting longer already. We're at the top of the hour. I took some notes here that I want to go through. So the first thing is the fact that when I first got started 8 years ago, yes, last month marked 8 years, I didn't have it all figured out. Okay. I knew nothing about sales, nothing about business, never mind about network marketing. But like many of you on the call tonight, I had dreams, right? I wanted more out of life. I wanted to have more freedom. I wanted to impact lives. So what did I do? I did what I do best, which is pray about it. God, send me the direction that I'm meant to be. So one day I walked into a store looking for an outfit just like the one I'm wearing. And I'm so grateful to the amazing sister who owns the store. Her name is Sahara. I'm not sure if she's on the call tonight. But she shared with me as I bought my outfit, I'm about to leave. She tells me, "Hey, Ifrah, you know I have another business." And I remember saying to myself, "Oh my goodness, what is it?" Because I've been looking for one, right? By the way, can you guys see my full picture here? Or is it for me, it's a smaller, I don't know why. But if you guys can see me full on the screen, then I can continue. Okay.
Yes, Ifrah, we can see you.
I'll love it, love it. Okay, so I said to her, "What is it? What is it?" And she says, "Oh, you don't have to leave your job. I know you already have a good government job. You're already doing a lot of work in the community, giving back. You don't have to leave your job." And I remember saying to her, "Then what is it that you do?" And she said, "Oh, it's all online." I said, "Okay, what do you sell? Fashion, health, beauty." And I remember thinking to myself, those are all the things that I spend so much money every month buying from outside. You're telling me everything is going to be in my email, right? And then when I go and share with people, I can make money. And she said, yes. So I said, great, show me your business plan. 2 weeks later, I met with her, another young lady named Stephanie, and we met at a coffee shop. And as they were going through our business plan presentation, three things stood out for me right away. Number one, the fact that our company started in 2005, where right here in Ottawa, Canada, my hometown. Second, the fact that the company is now in 200 countries and territories. And I remember going, wow, that's the entire world. They said yes. But the third thing that sealed the deal, that I knew this is the opportunity I've been praying about at the time, top 5 markets, we had Kenya and we had Rwanda. Okay, so I'm originally from Somalia. We migrated to Canada 31 years ago, 1995. So before we migrated to Canada, we actually spent some time in Kenya. So I remember saying to myself, oh my goodness, if there is a business in Kenya, that means it's a business without borders. That night, right away, I saw the vision of our CEO. I remember coming home, praying about it. I told my mom. My mom said, hey, you've been saying that you want to do more, you want to travel the world. Maybe this is it. That is how I got started. 3 days later, my welcome package came. And guess what? It had all these amazing products. I remember telling my mom, I am not going to share with anyone until I use it. Why? For me, my integrity is worth everything. By then, everybody in the community knew me as someone who's honest, someone who really means well for the community, right? So the last thing I wanted to do is promote something that I have no idea whether or not is beneficial. My mom said, I'll try with you. So my mom was my guinea pig. And I remember the first product my mom and I started using is Fountain of Life, which is our #1 health selling product. And 3 days later, my mom tells me, hey, Ifrah, whatever you gave me is working. I remember saying to her, what do you mean? My mom suffered from arthritis for 15 years. So she had issues going up and down the stairs, walking, her daily prayers. 3 days, she's feeling relief. 3 weeks later, guess what? All her movements, she's doing fine. To the point where when her friends come over and they see how she's moving, they're like, what are you using? She goes, oh, my daughter gave me this product. It's a natural product. Health Canada approves. And they're like, can we try it? I remember my first month, I had 20 clients, all from my mom's side. So now that I saw what it did for my mom, for me, it helped me with my iron, digestion, and allergies. So now that I saw what it did for me, what it did for my mom, I officially launched my business. So April 7, 2018 is when I officially launched. But a few weeks before that, I launched quietly. All right, so the question is, okay, what has happened? My sister Jaz mentioned what has happened, right? But for me, over the years, I have seen so much growth in my confidence, in my belief, in my leadership, and most importantly, in my vision. I no longer dwell about the results of today. I'm always thinking about what's coming the next 5 years, the next 10 years, right? I became a visionary over time. So what are some of the lessons I've learned over the past 8 years? The first one, and it's so crucial, write this down, is timing and positioning. What do I mean by that? Right now, as you heard, we are officially launching Australia and New Zealand. So if there's ever a perfect time, now is the time. When I look back in my story, I got started in 2018, 2 years before the pandemic. The first 2 years, it was part-time. I was doing it quietly. I was doing my 9-to-5 government job, and I was doing this, right? Now, imagine had I not did that. Because what happened 2 years later, when the world went into a lockdown, I remember they called us into an emergency meeting. Everybody is freaking out. Oh my God, what are they going to say? And our manager said, you know what? You're all going home indefinitely. And everybody is freaking out, is asking questions. I'm the only one in the back cheesing. Why? For me, this is a dream come true. You mean I get to be at home all day and do my business at the same time, do my 9-to-5? Sure, bring it on. And 3 months later, the rest is history. You all heard exactly what happened. It took me 3 months to be able to more than double my income and, of course, have that freedom. Now, as I mentioned, Australia, it is the ground floor opportunity right now, right? So most people hear about an opportunity like this after the market has already been saturated. You are hearing about it early, okay? So whoever takes action tonight, starting tonight, will become eventually and be recognized as a pioneer. I don't know about you, but I want to be a pioneer, okay? Now, what are the vision casting that I have for you? Imagine being part of building a market right from the beginning. Imagine the stories you will share a year from today, where you're going to tell people that you did not wait and that you moved and you took action. So this is bigger than a business. This is a legacy, okay, that you're about to start tonight. It is an impact, and most importantly, it's about creating options. Our CEO says it best. He says, I want to be able to provide people an opportunity where they have life's full menu. That opportunity is in front of you tonight. In closing, I want to remind you, every major company that we know of, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, they were not built overnight. It took them decades. In fact, it was decade number 3 that they all took off. Guess what? We're at the start of decade number 3. Yes. Okay. We are at the start of decade number 3. So so the people, those companies, going back on those companies, the people who won big at the end, who were they? It's the people who saw it first. Yes. It is the people who took action first. So right now, Australia and New Zealand, it is that first stage, is that early phase. So the question I have for all of you is, will you wait until it is obvious that everybody knows, oh yeah, I know Opulence Global is a tough company? Or are you going to position yourself and get started today? The choice is yours. At the end of the day, our job is to share with you what we have. All right. Lastly, but not least, everybody that's on in this call, I know that we have a lot of amazing guests here. My advice to you is to recognize that this is not an accident. You are not here by accident. Take a serious look at what you see, ask the right questions, get back to the person who invited you. And I want to be the first person to officially welcome you home. Thank you. And back to you, my sister Jaz.
Thank you, Ifrah.
Thank
That
you.
was a very powerful story. Very much wonderful, David. So, Ifrah is always motivated, as far as I have seen since I joined the company 2.5 years ago. So, why don't we go to our speaker of the night, the last speaker of the night? It's Amarjeet Kaur. Let me introduce Amarjeet. She joined the company actually 10 years ago, and we just celebrated her 10th anniversary in March, right, Amarjeet?
Yes.
At that time, when she joined the company, she was actually she was a queen. Her husband supported her. She didn't have a job. So when she was introduced to the company, GWT at that time, back then, the registration was a bit high, and Amarjeet, since she didn't have a job, she relied solely on her husband. She loved the compensation plan. Immediately, she fell in love with the compensation plan, and she took a dive. She took the risk, maximized her credit card, and started the business. I love that. You're a risk taker, Amarjeet. I know you're a parachuter. So between 2016 and 2017, she traveled to Singapore to attend a birthday party of her grandson. But then she also started telling people about her business. And when she saw the potential, you know what? Amarjeet came from Canada. After a few years, she decided, let me go to Singapore because I have great potential. And of course, it happened. In 2018, when Opulence Global launched its breakthrough product, Fountain of Life, Amarjeet began spending more time in Singapore, staying for extended periods to focus on building her business. As her business grew, she made a life-changing decision. She packed her bags in Canada and returned to her hometown in Singapore. 2019, she independently opened a distribution center there, laying a strong foundation for further growth. Today, Amarjeet leads a thriving network of more than 4,000 partners across 50 countries, and her journey with Opulence Global has transformed her life, turning initial struggle to a remarkable success and impact. I really love your lifestyle, Amarjeet. Take the stage.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jess. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Yes. A very warm welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me into this call also. And of course, we have seen all the inspiring story from Rene, LD4 Rene, as well as LD4 Ifrah and Ronen, LD3. And, you know, these are the leaders that we look into, and we get inspired with that by them too. I would like to share about my story. Yes, networking was once my instinct of coming in when I first started in 1999. And that time, Singapore wasn't allowed to do multi-level marketing. So I have to travel to Malaysia every day to recruit people. So there was a company, it's a Japanese company, and they are very strict. And you have to be at the door at 1:55. If you are late by 5 minutes, the door is closed. They really follow the Japanese law. And I really built that company, but I was very upset because it closed down after 3 months. Then I don't want to look at any networking company at all. I just said, oh, no, because I got my friends involved, I got my family involved. I said, no, I'm not interested in doing networking. Companies just closed down, And what happened in 2000, I left for Australia. And I was in Perth, and I didn't like Perth because it was very slow moving. I decided to go to Sydney, where I find that it's more fast moving. And I was doing my IT then, just to be there as a student and see how it goes. And I also did a networking when someone asked me, oh, why don't you do networking? There's a company called Monavi. So I said, no, I'm really not interested in networking anymore. It's really, you bring people and then things doesn't work, and you get family and friends all unhappy. So, but I did join because after looking at it, I said, okay, never mind. I'll still work and do a part-time or Monavi. Unfortunately, Monavi also closed. So it was taken over by someone else, and a friend of mine also asked me to join USANA. But I wasn't that happy with USANA because there's so many pills, and I see the pills are really big. So I decided not to. And in 2009, I decided to come back to Singapore because my daughter finished her uni. And I came back to Singapore, and many friends of mine has introduced me to Nu Skin, to other networking, but I turned them down because I find that it was too many products and too many things to do, and you need to know every detail. And so no networking from 2009 till I joined GWT. Very interesting is when I joined GWT, I didn't even want to attend the presentation where Rene was in Calgary. And I was introduced, my upline is from Sydney, Basil, because he used to... So Basil used to introduce me, and he told me about our youngest millionaire coming to Calgary. I say, I don't care whether who is a millionaire or not. I've gone to many events, all the millionaires, they just hype around, and after that, you don't even see anyone. So I'm not interested. So, but I would say I was very, very blessed. Rene called me from the airport and asking me that, I was introduced, and are you coming for the presentation? And I also turned him down. I said, no, Rene, I thank you very much. And I hang up the phone. But Rene did not stop there. He sent me a flyer. So I was telling my husband, I say, look at this guy. I already told him no, and he still sent me a flyer. So actually, I would say I'm very thankful to my husband. He told me because he need to go for a real estate meeting, and he tell me, since he sent you a flyer, I got a meeting to go. You must have a buffer time, right? Why don't you have a look? If you don't like it, walk out. I said, good idea. So I went there, and I see this young gentleman, Rene Liaw. And his question to me was, how much do you spend a year buying gifts? And I use the same words with others. How much you say? I say about 1,500 to maybe 2,000, maybe less. He said, what about if I give you an opportunity to get paid to wear? I was like, wow, that's interesting. So I straight went up to him. I said, Rene, show me the compensation plan. So he showed me the compensation plan. You know what struck me was the smart buy. the $150 mud buy. It wasn't the package, it was the $150. So I was looking at the long term, that if I have people coming in paying 150, how much I can accumulate. So I joined, I think I joined the middle package. And then he invited me for the next day training, and I saw a bigger picture and I said, I'm in. I get myself upgraded. And I was so hyped that I went back and I told Mike about it, and he said, I also want to join. So I said, okay, I don't know how to get you in. So we called Rene. Rene, can you get it in? Then we say, okay, why don't we get for our 2 kids too? So we have 4 of us with what Jaz said, maximum, our credit card was maximum. What interesting was, Rene told us that after 2 weeks, I became an LD1 in 2 weeks. That time they call it diamond. And he said, Amarjeet, we are having a 10th anniversary. Why don't you come to Toronto? So I said, that's interesting. So I told my husband, I said, you know what? We already spent $16,000. We better go and check the company. So we went to Toronto, and we saw the company, and I tell you, what really got me into it is the family. It's like a family. And I saw about 400 to 450 Africans. And I was asking how these Africans can, pay 3,599. And I asked a few of them, you know what they told me? We took a loan. Then I look back, when we open a store, a chicken rice store, any store, we take loan from a bank, right? But it is about $500,000 or maybe $250,000. But here it was only $4,000 to take a loan, and you can pay with it. On top of it, you get your products. So actually, it's a win-win situation. So I told my husband, I said, we have to build this. We have to build this, and that's where I find it. I say, oh my God, it is an interesting business, and every one of us are wear jewelries. We buy this, we buy that from the mall, and here we are. We have a mall that is already given to us. And what more interesting is 2017 when they came out with FERI Flawless. So I'm not a person who uses FERI Flawless, but I would say, after looking at a lot of partners sharing about FERI Flawless, I flew back to Singapore every year for celebrating my grandson's birthday. And I introduce more people, and I tell them, very simple regimen of our skin product. We only have moisturizer, cleanser, night serum, and that time we have the eye serum and a lip balm. Compared to any other company, they have step 1, step 2, step 3. I say, I don't know how it goes with a step, but you know what? Ours a simple regimen. And I think Rani is on the call, and she was the first one that I told her, because she was in another company doing some skin products. Then another interesting happened is Fountain of Life was born, and that's where it skyrocketed. And I said, and because of my situation, I had some injuries on my parachuting days as well as my netball, couldn't recover, went to the TCM and all. I tried for 10 days and said, oh my God, this product works. So, but I wasn't that confident. So I waited for 2 months until I told my husband, I said, I'm going to go to Singapore and I'm going to try this product on myself first. And I came back and I joined the netball team, and I went with them. And then the coach told me, Amarjeet, you still can play. Why don't you join us for the game in Malaysia? I said, Coach, I've not played for 6 years. So I said, oh, this is a time for me to try this Fountain of Life while playing. So I went for the game. And in 3 days, I played 7 games, and I did not have any pains. And that motivated me on building this business. I said, one product that can help. And with my husband, he was a walking time bomb of 220. His reading was 220, a walking time bomb. So So his heart problem was gone down. I said, oh my God. So I started sharing. I did not have a team like a lot of networkers. They have a big team. I started this business one by one in Singapore. One by one, sharing with people. And then after that, you know, we have a lot of testimonials coming from diabetes, from cancer, from all. And I think our Singapore team started with a testimonial call, and Henry joined us. And now we have amazing Jaz, who's also in our testimonial call. I think the testimonial call is amazing for us to guide people to join us and learn from there. And I learned a lot from all the testimonial calls as well. And I will say before I go close, do not miss events.
That's it.
Do not miss events. You meet
Amarjeet, you
people.
have a very interesting story. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your time, Amarjeet. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I just typed in my number. If anybody who is not in our testimonial call, please send me a message. Use my number right there. Send me your full name and your phone number so we can add you. So take the stage, David. I know we still have our CEO.
Thank you so much, Jaz. Look, and Amarjeet, what a great presentation. You know, I've made a few notes over here. You've got Rene, Ifrah, Amarjeet, Ronen, combined service to Opulence is 52 years, half a century. Okay, these are stories that resonate with people. No discrimination, community, lifestyle, timing, action. You've got trainers, mentors, coaches. Guys, we got the best of the very best of you. Trust me. I've been around this industry for a long, long time, and you've got some really top shelf people over here, and I'm honored and proud to work with them. You know, one of the things that I've always known that the difference between those that dream and those that achieve is action. And Rene mentioned something about Jim Ronen. You know, I get inspired by quotations. Okay, either be dictators, it could be politicians, ex-prime ministers, movie stars. They've all got a little quotation that they resonate with. And one of the things Jim Ronen speaks about action or lack of, and he says, affirmation without discipline is the beginning of what? Delusion. And it leads to self-deception. And if it's not supported by consistent action, and the reason for that is the fear of failure. And failure is not a person, it's an event. We all fail. It's what we learn from that. You know, it's almost like the scenario with when I was in high school, I was a Boy Scout, and you sit around a campfire, okay? And the closer you get to the campfire, the warmer you feel. You get this warm, fuzzy feeling inside you that you're feeling really happy. You're there with friends, with colleagues, with your mates. And the same if you go to a conference about leadership, about how to make money, about self-development. You're paying a lot of money to see a keynote speaker there speak about leadership or whatever. You come out of there, you've got the warm, fuzzy feeling, you've got the tapes, you've got the DVDs, you go home, you put it in the shelf. Okay, we've all done that. You know, we've got to take action. When I spoke with Ifrah a few days ago, and I invited her to come on the call, and she was very honored to do that, and I was blessed that I did. Within 24 hours, she sends me a video on WhatsApp. She put this video, which goes for about a minute and a half on TikTok. That's being proactive. That's thinking win-win, and that's sharpening the store. These are all the attributes of Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And Ramin and myself shared something on the call the other day that I remember 20 odd years ago, probably 22 years ago. I was in a big event in Perth. We had about 500 people at the Duxton Hotel in downtown Perth. It was one of the wettest and coldest days in May, middle of May. I flew in some keynote speakers from the corporate office in San Diego, and it was an absolutely magical night. But back in those days, you didn't have all the apps that you've got now. During the intermission, all the leaders stormed out of the conference room. They went to these little nooks and crannies, got their phones out, and guess what? They were calling people one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. I know people that maybe Gen Ys and Gen Zs that have up to 2,000 people as followers on Instagram, WhatsApp, Viber, WeChat, you name it. They can get off this call right now and just share what they've heard today. These amazing stories from these amazing leaders, mentors, trainers. And if the conversion rate is 10%, you've got 200 people that will express an interest to come on board. If you've got a 5% conversion rate, that's 100 people. Okay, so all I'm saying is that we have the ability, so we're all excited on this call. We've got that warm, fuzzy feeling like we're in the fireplace. Where the rubber meets the road is when we get off the call today, and that's taking action. That's what Jim Rohn says. Affirmation without discipline is the beginning of delusion. So we've got to challenge that and just get out there and do what Ifrah did and let people know that Opulence is here. We're launching. Okay. And we've got the runs on the board, guys. I surround myself with positive. I don't like negative people. Okay. What matters most is your journey matters. Your efforts matter, but most importantly, you matter. I'm 6'1", and when I use this statement, I say stand tall. You haven't got to be 6'1" to stand tall. Okay, you could be 4'7". Stand tall, stay focused, and start something extraordinary today. I think Ifrah mentioned that we're all trailblazers, we're pioneers. We can really, really get this market up and running very, very quickly. We have to just find new ways of doing things. Things have changed over the last 15 years. The industry's changed. There's been political turmoil around the world. The world has changed. We've gone from pre-social media to post-social media, and now we've got AI. We just need to reinvent ourselves, rethink, re-energize, and reimagine. And look, where we go from here, guys, is only limited by our imagination. Winston Churchill, one of the great all-time British prime ministers, his famous quotation was, this is during World War II, he said, never, 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 three nevers, never, never, never give up. Amarjeet said, we have to move now. Tomorrow is now. Our power is now. Guys, one company, one team, one system, one dream to the billion. Look, I want to thank you all. We've gone over the hour. It's been an amazing, amazing session. And we have one final speakers. And the reason we're all here today is because of this amazing person and also Sanaz. So I'm going to turn it back to Jaz. And Jaz, I want to thank you for the amazing job you've done. And look, we're going to get your calls and really get people all primed up to get on the course. And we'll use you again in future calls with the ANZ group. But thank you again. And back to you, Jaz. Thanks so much, guys.
So our CEO is still on the call, CEO and SVP.
Yes.
Okay, so I know that we have a lot to talk about when we talk about our CEO and SVP. So I'll just do it very short, David, because we're already over the time. Our CEO is Mr. Ramin Mesgarlou, the guy with the heart of gold, and our SVP, Sanaz Human. And it's a pleasure to introduce Sanaz Human, Senior Vice President at Opulence Global. She began her journey as a distributor as well. From a traditional business background, she rose to become the first ever recipient of the President's Cup and has since become a driving force on the corporate team. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our CEO and our SVP, Sanaz Human. Sorry to keep you waiting.
I think I'll. Hello, everyone. Good night.
Today.
How you doing, David?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you very much for being on the call. Appreciate your time.
Of course. I'm still here at the office working away and was just catching up on everything and just love listening to everyone. I'm going to say good night to everyone. Our CEO looks like he's dancing under the stars over there. Hello, CEO.
Everybody.
You are dancing under the stars for sure. I'll let you go first since you're in the car.
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't supposed to be on the call while traveling from Toronto to Montreal. My son's playing basketball for the tournament, so I'll be there for the weekend. I just wanted to say hello to our Aussie team and New Zealand team and Laos and Singapore and Thailand and the Philippine team and the Canada team. Hey, look, you know what? As everyone's talking about, we're the apple of the network marketing industry. It took a couple of decades to build infrastructure. There's nothing like it, like this business. There's nothing like it. And I got to tell you, in decade number 3, I believe we're going to be the biggest company in the world. And over the past 2 weeks, we have 24 individuals who joined our company, 24 who were either number 1 or number 2 in previous MLM companies. They're either number 1, number 2 in previous. So what does that tell you? Decade number 3 is here. We're taking this to the billion. And I just got into, look, if you're new here on this call, you will listen to our Opulence Heroes, which you've been listening to. That's what's really important. From the corporate side, our job is simple. We provide the absolute best products in the world. We've done a really good job in the last 21 years and make sure we create millionaires, and we've done many of those as well. And with that, I'll pass it to you, SVP.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to keep it really short, sweet, but exciting. The fact that I'm here at 10:30 at night, right here on a Friday night, just tells you our commitment to success. I've been actually working on something tremendous. As you all know, we are constantly working and evolving on products and development. And this is really the 3rd decade. I think the number 3 is like it's my number. 3 is my number. It always has been in numerology. And I feel like the 3rd decade is where it's at. You know, we've done the development, we've done the infrastructure. We are just attracting such phenomenal people that are coming our way. The development, the infrastructure, the product development, the training, everything is just coming full circle. And as we just celebrated our 21-year anniversary, I just feel like, you've all heard me say over and over that God's hand has always been on this company. It has blessed us abundantly. And I really just feel like we're just getting started. And tonight, I was working on something fabulous. As you all know, I have been working all the time on just amazing and great, incredible products that are life-changing. And you all know that we're going to be doing the healthy chocolate launch. You all know there's been a lot that is coming up to that. But what about if I tell you a new slogan called Beauty Without Compromise? Do you see my eyes, ladies, my bronzers? I'm actually working on our incredible new healthy and clean makeup line that I am working on, which I am so excited about. And that is something that I'm working with a couple of different people, and we're just creating a space for all of you of beautiful palettes and eyes and lips and cheeks. So there's a lot of great stuff that's happening in Opulence. It's not just the fashion world. It's not just the beauty world. It's not just the health world. It is an entire ecosystem. And I know our CEO is laughing at me because that's my new favorite word. We have become an ecosystem here at Opulence. So I'm really excited as we're also planning and fine-tuning and finalizing our amazing convention that will be held right here at home in Toronto in basically the fall. Stay tuned. We're doing some final visits, final contracts. So a lot of great stuff is coming. If you've just joined us, I want to welcome you home to Opulence. We look forward to building an empire with you. And with that, one team, one dream, one system to the billion. Back to you, David.
Thank you, SVP, to the billion indeed. So David, I think it's about time to say thank you and goodbye to all our participants. Okay, we've got Marie-Christine. Let me see.
Wow, Jaz, after all that excitement, you just, boom, shut it down. Oh, we gotta go. Come on, girl, you gotta give me some love and excitement.
Yeah. Okay, we've got Marie-Christine and we've got Hodan Abby on the call tonight. So go ahead, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon here in Melbourne. Hi, David. Hi, Sanas. And hi, Jess. This has been amazing and powerful. I feel like I am being relaunching once again since 2021, and it's great to have a powerful, leader to an upline, Ifrah, to be on my side. I want to speak on like my experience, just short experience. I will be celebrating, I think, July 9, my 5th year. But as a mom of 4 children, I feel like, I want to be one of the millionaire moms to be in the making. I have the passion and I have the vision, and I'm so blessed to have met, when I went to Thailand last November, just to meet the Asian team, and now to have David on Sydney. So I can't wait. I feel like, I'm blessed to be in this company. I did have the vision, and when I joined at that time, I was working on my own company for 12 years in the making. And sadly, September last year, it closed down, and I decided I'm going to go full time on my Opulence company so that I can actually raise my kids at home. That was a dream that I had. While I was working, I was too busy, didn't see what I had. But now I see it 100%, and I'm going to put 200% effort. And I can't wait to see a lot of mothers in New Zealand and Australia, because I'm originally from New Zealand. So kia ora, everybody. So I'm half New Zealander, half Australian, and original from Somalia. So I found my new home, my family, and super excited. Yes, definitely will meet with you, David. And there's so many powerful women here that are waiting for, somebody just to show them the way. And we do have the people to inspire us and to follow their leads. And I can't wait to support the other women as well. So thank you for an amazing, I don't know what to describe, decade number 3 is absolutely super exciting. And I can't wait to be on the podium as a LD3 December or October, whenever we are in Canada, in Toronto. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Back to you.
Hoda. Thank you. And we've got Marie Christine. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, MC. MC, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Sometimes people just raise their hand, but
There you go. There you go. She's okay now. Go ahead, MC. I don't know why. Nothing to say? Okay. Okay, got it. So anyone else? We have time for one more. Okay. There you go. We've got Joy. Joy, you can unmute yourself, and we also have Rebecca.
Joy from Queensland.
Yep. Joy,
go ahead, Joy.
Oh, hello everyone. Kia ora, g'day. And I feel so humbled to be here. Honestly, it is such a privilege to be around some great leaders, and this month is 10 years for me. Oh my goodness. It's like I just started yesterday, and yes, I did come through with a partner from Canada. So I'm from the Canada upline. And and I guess when I saw this opportunity in 2016, I was working 60 hours. I was a chef, cook, chef, whatever you call it, producing hundreds of meals every day, solid. I was so overweight. I was, and when I saw this company, I was actually with another company, Life Plus. It's supplements from the US. And when I joined it, I joined it out of nowhere. And this lady from the UK was coming down to do a trade show that we kind of organized. And then it fell through at the last minute. I saw what leaders do, to your recruits, and that kind of just, made me step away. And when I found Opulence, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. It was one of those things. And my upline, I didn't even have a presentation. I just saw the products and I went, oh, wow, oh, it was like, it was really amazing. So I did look at the presentation. I got onto a two-way call and I joined. I had 7 days to kind of rank to buy the package. And I thought, well, I didn't have the money at that time, but I tell you what, within 7 days, I found it. And and there I started. It was different. It was, fashion, but I knew that this is where I would be when I retired. So last year in September, I kind of hit the retirement. I've worked 50 years in a job. I've had my own business, and things like that. So I've evolved. I saw this company and yeah, it was amazing. I came over and met the CEO. 4 months later, I did a trade show. We went from hardly anything to what I produce now. And for me, the greatest thing that I've ever learned was to learn and be coachable and follow the system, put things in place to make it easier, better. So thank goodness we have David here, because I've got some things that I'm developing this month, and to pass through David, and one of them is an opulent hub. It's a little hub that can be created in different cities or countries, little cities. And in that hub is the presentation. It's a VIP showcase, like a little expo, and then that's pretty much the Opulence Hub, and bringing in VIPs and then branching it into a spa group online, where you involve other partners around the world, different seasons, different products they use, and it's a time to bring in VIPs, because I've done such a thing with another company and it works. It brings the VIPs into your business, and that's something I'm building here, and I'm just grateful because, for me, it's time to fly. It is timing and positioning. Absolutely. So I'll just leave you with that, and thank you very much to our CEO and for all my upline, my five, and they were on this call. So I'm just very grateful.
That's wonderful.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.
So proud of you, Joy.
Thanks, Inez. Thank you. Thank you.
Rebecca, you can unmute yourself.
Well, good evening, Opulence Nation down under. Good day. We're all saying good evening because there's so many of us here from North America, but it's good day and kia ora, right? And swadika for any of the Thailand people who have popped onto the call as well, of course. So what I love about Opulence is how I'm learning to be multilingual, at least in saying hello. And I just wanted to first say, never miss a call, because, many of us have had a busy week, and it would be easy to say, oh, it's late. We're not in the groove of a later call on Friday night anymore. I am very excited to be hosting tomorrow morning's training, so that would be my excuse. I'm so glad that I hopped on, because I have the privilege of having known every single one of these special speakers from day one. It's almost 18 years for me. I've watched the growth and development of every single one of these people, not just in their business, but also as human beings. The longevity thing that you talked about, David, it's not just being around for that amount of time. It's the very unique unity that we have as an Opulence Nation that you cannot find anywhere else in the world. And it's genuine. It is strong. It is only deepening, time after time. And we're very representative of the world. We have every faith, we have all the genders, the nationalities, the languages. This is really a place where anyone in the world can come, feel at home. And we have literally like products that are second to none, whether you hone in on the fashion or you hone in on the health and wellness or the personal care products or, whatever is next to come. Sanaz is working on our beauty line now, which many of us have been waiting for many years for. It's just phenomenal. And we have everything now. And we're really going to dominate. That's what was coming to my mind listening to this call. And I was around to watch Australia launch as GWT, and the excitement and the passion and the enthusiasm, you can hear it in Joy, right? And Joy's one of our original pioneers. I love her so much. She oozes with joy. Like she couldn't be more well named. And the first round caught like wildfire in Australia. And I remember, our CEO used to, every time he went to a different location, he would rent the presidential suite and he would do an inspired or expired video. And one of the best presidential suites he ever exposed us to was in Australia. So I'm very excited to see Australia 2.0 coming back and renewing and just taking over the entire continent. Because yes, boys and girls, Australia is not just a country, it is a continent. And it's going to be one of all of the continents that we dominate in the next decade. I'm very, very confident of that. I'm so proud of every single person on this call who is plugged in, excited, enthusiastic. And many of us now are ready to level up again and get really serious, really consistent, and just drive this home. So we take over the world and we help everyone achieve the opulent lifestyle that they want to have. Back to you, Jaz.
Wonderful,
Amen to that.
Rebecca. It is indeed United Nations. Opulence. It's United Nations. David, anything else do you have something to say, David?
No, I just want to say, look, we've gone way past the hour, guys. I appreciate your time. It's late in the evening. It's mid-afternoon here. But look, I can't thank you all enough. This is the start of something really, really huge. It's a new beginning, a rebirth. Look, I'm excited, guys, and I want to thank everyone for taking the time to be on this call. Have a safe and blessed weekend ahead. We love you guys. God bless you and your families. Stay safe, and we'll see you on our next call. And I'll be on the call tomorrow, by the way. Be midnight my time, I think. Looking forward to that.
Okay,
Thank you, Jaz. You've done an amazing job as always. Thank you so much.
Good night to our SVP. Good night to all our partners. And from Canada to down under, in closing, we say one team, one dream, one system, building the billion. Okay, Amarjeet, thank you. What a wonderful call tonight. And thank you. Good night, SVP, and good night, CEO as well. Good night, David.